a whole clan to defend your home.
And the Vikings putting on a show.
Invaders are coming.
I-N-D-Y! Yes, sir! Look at that! Look at that! Look at that!
Colts. Vikings. On NBC and Peacock.
We look forward to our trip to Minnesota next week. Indianapolis was so close with Houston. They've been swept by the Texans. Good to see Jonathan Taylor back. Shane Steichen and the Colts have to answer their quarterback question. Develop Richardson or turn to Flacco, who's the veteran we know can play. Minnesota, a couple of tough losses in 5 days, and they have to really pick it up quick because that division is very good. Can't fall too far behind in the North.
No, you can, and they look like they were going to be the runaway winner, but unfortunately there's everybody else. That's the best division in football in all likelihood right now. So Sam Darnold, Justin Jefferson, I mean, it's really fun to watch them play football. And on defense, with all the blitz packages that they have over there, we'll have a lot to draw and have fun with.
It'll be a lot of fun on Sunday night. Speaking of drawing and having fun, Grandpa Chris is Grandpa Chris again. Congratulations.
Collins, thank you very much.
Yeah. Is Ashley your daughter and Holly your wife? And
Ashley's first. Wait a minute, I got to kiss this one, too.
Yeah, you got to be even there because the last grandbaby was born a month ago. Did that as well, right?
Yeah. You got to do it for all of them.
Granddaughter born a few days ago.
Is she beautiful or what?
That's pretty cool. This is not a once-a-month club, right?
We're done.
We're good for a while here?
Not done,
at least for a little bit?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Congratulations to you and Holly.
Look at her. She is gorgeous.
Congratulations, Ashley, as well. Family doing great. Everybody looks awesome. Congratulations, Darren, as well. So happy for y'all. Hey, tomorrow morning, wake up with today's show. You can go inside the game with Jada Henderson, talented artist. She's helping some of the biggest NFL stars, including Dak Prescott, set up their shoe game with custom designs. Daughter of former quarterback John Kitna. She's turned her creative passion into a booming business. Pretty cool story. If you like your shoes, check it out tomorrow morning on Today. Final score here in Santa Clara tonight. The 49ers 30, Cowboys 24. Thanks to Rob Hyland and Hall of Famer Drew Esikoff, leading our Sunday night football team in the truck. Not grumpy co-workers at all, by the way. Not at all. Mike Tirico, Chris Collinsworth, Melissa Stark, our rules analyst Terry McCauley. Good night from the Bay Area, where the Niners beat the Cowboys by 6.
NBC Sports thanks you for watching this presentation of the National Football League.
These battles are gonna blow the roof off this place. It was a couple of moments where I thought I caught the gangster Holy Ghost.
Why don't you ask the gangster Holy Ghost to speak through you?
He giving me mixed signals.
The Voice, new Monday and Tuesday on NBC and Peacock.
I'm Rebecca Cook, and like most folks in Wisconsin, I'm somewhere in the middle.
Oh, please. Don't be fooled by Rebecca Cook. She made her living trying to elect Democrat extremists. Cook proudly supported radicals who want to defund police, end cash bail, and throw open the border. No wonder extremists like AOC are spending big bucks to elect liberals like Cook. Rebecca Cook, just another liberal trying to fool you. Congressional Leadership Fund is responsible for the content of this advertising.
25 years as a police officer, I'm trained to spot a lie when I see one.
Take it from me, these ads against Rebecca Cook are false.
They're not worth the special interest dollars that are funding them.
Rebecca's one of us.
She comes from a family of first responders and veterans.
She's a strong supporter of more funding for law enforcement.
She'd never defund the police.
I'm Rebecca Cook, and I approve this message because I'll always put safety first.
And Derek Van Orden just puts himself first.
Let's talk about Rebecca Cook. She's a political operative. She's worked for defund the police radicals across this country.
Cook spent millions getting Mandela Barnes elected, the most anti-law enforcement candidate in Wisconsin's history.
You remember Barnes, the guy who said reducing prison populations was sexy?
Defund the police radicals make it harder for us to keep you safe.
That's why we can't support Rebecca Cook, because she'll never support us. I'm Derek Van Orden, and I approve this message.
My husband and I were elated to find out that we would be having another baby. But after many tests, my doctors agreed that we had to terminate the pregnancy. It was the worst day of my life. You should know that Eric Hubgy supports laws that stop me and my doctor from making that decision. And that's a ban with no exceptions in cases of rape or incest. It's a ban that could turn doctors into criminals. He opposes abortion, period.
Win Senate is responsible for the content of this ad.
For 54 years, they were trying to get Roe v. Wade terminated, and I did it.
He did it. It was pretty devastating.
He is bragging about the rights that he stole from American women. And Trump is promising to do more. In Project 2025.
They are restricting birth control,
tracking pregnant women, enforcing a nationwide abortion ban. The government should get out of my business.
Stay out of my business.
That's not the government's business.
In America, women make their own decisions.
I'm Kamala Harris, and I approve this message.
Washington is corrupt. Senator Baldwin says she fights against Wall Street, and yet she lives with a Wall Street executive and gets all this money from Wall Street. She says she's standing up to Big Pharma and Big Tech, but look at the money she rakes in from Big Pharma, Big Tech, and their executives. Senator Baldwin doesn't work for you. She works for them. I'm Eric Hovde. I approve this message. I'm not taking their special interest money. I'll only work for you.
Wisconsin Broadcasters Foundation Student Scholarship Program. Live from Rhinelander, this is Newswatch 12 Weekends, the Northwoods' best news. With Jake Force, meteorologist Conrad Sapinski, and Drew Chelly with sports. News from where you live starts now.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Jake Force. Republican Senate candidate Eric Hovde was on a bus tour throughout northern Wisconsin on Saturday. One stop he made was at DeBar here in Rhinelander, where he was flanked by the likes of Representative Tom Tiffany and State Representative Rob Swearingen. I caught up with Hovde to talk about how he's approaching the final days before the November 5th election, as well as the biggest issues he's hearing from voters throughout the state.
Access to health care is a big issue. But I would say the open border and obviously inflation, which has really hammered American families.
Republican Senate candidate Eric Hovde stopped by DeBar in Rhinelander on Saturday as part of his statewide Time for Change bus tour. While Hovde has faced criticism after his comment that he's, quote, not an expert, unquote, on the farm bill during a debate with Senator Tammy Baldwin, he's also up against the recent endorsement of Baldwin from the Wisconsin Farm Bureau Federation, an organization that hasn't endorsed a statewide Democratic candidate in over 20 years. But Hovde said he isn't fazed and spoke about what he's heard from farmers throughout the state.
They're talking about the excessive regulations that are hammering them. They're very concerned about WOTUS, that's the Waters of the United States, the green energy initiatives, the cost inputs of fuel. All those things are the things that farmers are talking about. And I feel really good about the support I'm getting from the farming community.
Hovde also spoke on his work as the chairman of SunWest Bank when asked how Wisconsin voters can trust that he will have their best interests in mind and not his own.
I go to work every day with the people of Wisconsin in my development company. Our companies do charitable activity every quarter. I've worked in food banks. I fund, drug addiction centers to help people come out of addiction. I do that because I care about my community.
Rhinelander Mayor and DeBar owner Chris Hannes said he was honored to have Hovde in his establishment and says DeBar is a safe space for any politician who wants to interact with their voters.
Any candidate who wants to come, let me know. Be more than willing to host for anyone. It doesn't matter who you are. I want people to be able to talk to their candidates and pick the best choice.
Doesn't matter which party?
I don't care.
Wisconsin Republican Representative Tom Tiffany also spoke on the advice he shared with Hovde throughout a tightly contested campaign.
What I always say to him is the same thing I say to audiences, is focus on the issues. They know we have a border that is a full-scale invasion is going on. We have a presidential candidate, Kamala Harris, that voted for the Inflation Reduction Act that just unleashed this on America. And we've got a weak America abroad. Weakness leads to war. Just talk about the issues.
Well, Conrad, fall is officially here, and it feels like winter is fast approaching.
It is, yeah. November's around the corner as well, and you know what that means, right? Cool weather will be here, even colder than what we've been experiencing. 59 degrees earlier today. Our average right around 49, so once again, well above average. 12 consecutive days in a row where we saw well above average temperatures, even close to 80 degrees a few days ago. We are not done with those warm temperatures just yet. We're continuing to see these warm temps all the way up north into into southern parts of Canada. And of course, the cooler air right about here, upstate New York, Pennsylvania, Ohio, and then same story into Michigan, where temperatures are in the 30s and 40s. But of course, it is fall, like Jake just said, and it is almost November. Means peak fall foliage is just around the corner. Here in the Northwoods, we're already past that peak fall foliage. Still lots of colors down into central and southern parts of the state. Other than that, we will continue to see those colors really showing up, especially down south. Now, most of the country pretty dry. Atlanta, Georgia, and parts of Texas haven't seen a drop of rain yet this whole entire month. Now, for tonight, though, we're going to continue to see some pretty good weather outside, mostly clear to partly cloudy skies. Temperatures right by freezing. Jake?
All right, thanks, Conrad. Earlier this week, the Department of Justice warned Tesla CEO Elon Musk's pro-Trump super PAC that prizes being given to registered voters could be against federal election law. But that didn't stop the super PAC from giving away two $1 million prizes Thursday. The voters were in Michigan and here in Wisconsin. The prizes go to random registered voters who signed a petition supporting the First and Second Amendments. Musk has promised to hand out $1 million each day until Election Day to registered voters in certain swing states. One election law analyst for CNN says voters who signed the petition could potentially face legal trouble for accepting money in exchange for their vote. It should be noted that the DOJ has not accused any winners or signers of the petition of any wrongdoing. October and November are typically the most popular months for an increase in deer car collisions. Newswatch 12's Austin Carisu has more on how to avoid potentially dangerous crashes.
The Wisconsin Department of Transportation is reminding drivers to be alert for increased deer activity during the fall rut. In 2023, there were more than 16,000 crashes involving deer in Wisconsin, killing 14 people and injuring 585 people. The most important safety tip the Department of Transportation wants to remind people is that deer are unpredictable and may freeze or change directions. It is important to drive at a safe speed, eliminate any distractions while driving, and make sure that everyone in the vehicle is wearing a seatbelt. Another important tip is to scan the road carefully. If you see one deer, watch for more. If you cannot avoid hitting the deer, it is important to brake firmly and stay in your lane. Avoid swerving that can result in a loss of control and a worse crash. And if you happen to hit a deer, call 911 and remain in your vehicle, and never attempt to move the deer to avoid dangerously walking along a roadway. Reporting for Newswatch 12, I'm Austin Carisu.
All right, thanks, Austin. Several controversial stories involving pizza have occurred in Milwaukee this week. We'll have more on both of them after Weather with Conrad when we come back on Newswatch 12.
When I was 27, I was diagnosed with MS. That's life-altering news. I had to prioritize my health and start taking medication. Back then, these cost $6,000 a year. Now the generics cost 5 times that. Senator Baldwin claims she's fighting to lower drug prices, but she's taking millions from Big Pharma and works for them. I'm not taking their money. I'm Eric Hovde, and I approve this message. I'll fight the corruption and lower drug prices because I've lived it.
I've been with U.S. Cellular for 27 years. They've always taken care of me. But when they asked me to talk to you about their special customer event, Us Days, I said, I gotta get in shape. So they sent me this Hollywood trainer. Oh, this guy's no joke. Us Days means exclusive deals just for us customers.
Now let's try burpees.
Us Days is back at U.S. Cellular. Current customers get $1,200 off any phone, plus $400 off any tablet.
25 years in D.C. can change a person. Take Tammy Baldwin. Decades ago, she focused on Wisconsin. Today, she's just too extreme. Baldwin's record, nearly $1 billion for criminals in prison, including the Boston Marathon bomber, forcing Wisconsin women's domestic violence shelters to admit biological men, and supporting sex change surgeries for minor children. We thought we knew Tammy Baldwin, but she's changed. She's too extreme for Wisconsin. Senate Leadership Fund is responsible for the content of this advertising.
What would a Trump second term look like? It's all laid out in his Project 2025 agenda. He'd let insurance companies deny coverage for pre-existing conditions, cut Social Security and Medicare, and give tax cuts to billionaires, while the middle class pays the price with lower income and higher costs. Because for Trump, it's all about getting unchecked power while you pay the price. Donald Trump, more unhinged, unstable, and unchecked.
I'm Kamala Harris, and I approve this message.
Sue right, Jake middle, me on the left.
Yeah, I knew I'd win.
Are you saying
What's
something?
really happening over there?
I think you're on mute.
There's no substitute for real gaming fun. Go where fun lives. Old Chum Gaming Wittenberg.
They've had 3.5 years to fix the border. Why hasn't she done it?
4 years, radical Kamala Harris created the border crisis. Thousands of accused murderers, rapists, even terrorists pour in. Each crime they commit makes American victims. Innocent victims of Kamala's open border agenda. They were bludgeoned, raped, strangled, stabbed, shot, and murdered. Kamala created the border crisis. She won't fix it now. Make America Great Again, Inc. is responsible for the content of this advertisement.
It's the weekend. Hope you had a wonderful weekend. A little bit more on the milder end, and this is just the start. 60s and 70s, possibly even some record highs back in the forecast by Tuesday. For now, though, we're seeing the blue colors all over the area, which means, of course, we are cooling down. 30s and 40s all over the region, even close to 50 degrees by Eau Claire, but that is well out of our viewing area. Now, the last 12 days, 12 consecutive days, temperatures were well above average. Remember, these near 80-degree readings, record highs all over the area. We are not done with those very mild temperatures just yet, especially by Tuesday time frame. Our average right around 49 degrees. We're going to be well above that. Mid-60s for Monday, mid-70s, record highs in some spots on Tuesday, near 70 again by Wednesday. Cold front comes in, really cools us off, keeps us back into those mid to upper 40s Thursday into Friday time frame, and then back in those low to mid 50s outside by next weekend. Overall, though, we've been dry and very warm the last couple of months. Most of the country, especially southern parts of the United States, Texas, into parts of Georgia as well, they've seen no rain the whole entire month of October. Can you believe that? Atlanta, Georgia, if that continues the next couple of days, that's going to put us into 1800s where they haven't seen a drop of rain in a whole entire month. Now, most of the country is in a little bit of a drought. More of a severe drought in the Northwoods here in town, of course, as well. A little bit lighter drought conditions into central parts of the state. Wausau, south of that as well, into Adams County, and then into the border, right at the border of Wisconsin and Illinois. More of a severe drought, once again, is in the forecast. Now, winds are pretty light, right around that 5 to 10 mile per hour range. Some spots are seeing some calm winds outside. We're going to continue to see just a light breeze into the overnight hours. Gusty winds out there for the afternoon hours on Monday. By Tuesday, things will start to improve. Now, for tonight, though, not quite as cold as what we've been experiencing the last couple of weeks. 35 degrees, that's going to be your low temperature. Partly cloudy skies. Overall, though, just a light breeze out of the south-southeast, gusting around 10, maybe 15 miles per hour at times in a few isolated locations. For our Monday, partly cloudy skies, windy conditions, temperatures well above average. Enjoy the outdoors. I'm definitely going to be outdoors and just doing anything, sports or just bike riding. 64 degrees, gusty wind out there once again out of the south-southeast, possibly wind gusting up to even 30+ miles an hour. Our 7-day outlook brought to you by Northwoods Furniture Mattress is showing more chances of showers back in the forecast, maybe even some thunderstorms into the day on Wednesday. Once again, near record highs, close to 70 degrees. Cold front comes in. Thursday and Friday, we're back in the 40s and then back in those low 50s by next weekend. Jake?
All right, thanks, Conrad. Dozens of people reported getting sick after eating pizza from a Wisconsin restaurant that allegedly had THC in it. Now a local public health department is investigating. Jarrell Ballard has the story.
The lights were out and the doors were locked at Famous Yeti's Pizza in Stoughton after health officials say pizza served between Monday, October 21st through Thursday, October 24th this week had unintentional THC contamination. The restaurant posting on their Facebook page saying they underwent an investigation with the Stoughton police and local health officials. Today, it was confirmed that pizza had been sold with dough mistakenly prepared with Delta-9 contaminated oil. The oil accidentally used in the product originated from a shared storage space on the site. Health officials sending in alerts saying this was brought to their attention after Stoughton EMS transported multiple people with similar symptoms, all who reported eating at Famous Yeti's Pizza. So I tried calling the restaurant on Thursday around 6, but they closed early.
Hello, thank you for calling Famous Yeti's Pizza. We're terribly sorry I missed you, but we are actually closed today, Thursday, the 24th, due to some unforeseen circumstances. If you would like an update, please check our website. There's a specific reason why we're closed, but we apologize. Please try back. We will try to be back open tomorrow at our normal hours.
It's unclear how much contaminated pizza was sold and to who. Those who ate the pizza reported feeling dizziness, anxiety, paranoia, and hallucinations.
Charges are pending against multiple individuals after 3 Chicago police officers were hurt responding to a disturbance on Saturday. According to Chicago police, officers were called to a disturbance in the 4300 block of West Madison at approximately 12:24 p.m. Authorities say when officers arrived at the scene in the West Garfield Park neighborhood, they were battered by multiple assailants. A total of 3 individuals were taken into custody, and 3 Chicago police officers were transported to area hospitals. They were treated and released for various injuries. One of the suspects was charged with misdemeanor counts of resisting a peace officer and aggravated assault of a state employee. His pretrial detention hearing is scheduled for Sunday. Police say charges are still pending against the other 2 individuals. A man is facing decades in jail for allegedly killing a Wisconsin store worker over a pizza. The suspect is being held on a $200,000 cash bond at the Milwaukee County Jail. Madison Moore reports.
Walking through the doors of his corner store on MLK and Keefe will never be the same for Muhammad Awais. He's back at work after someone shot and killed his brother, a young father.
I told my brother, please, I need help like for an hour and a half. He told me, I got you.
The store owner says during that time, Charles Leggett ordered a pizza.
My brother served him and gave him the ticket. He went to the dude back there to make him the pizza. He gave him the ticket. I think the dude, he didn't wear gloves or something.
Do you remember if you were wearing gloves or not?
I was wearing gloves, I'm pretty sure.
The employee who made the pizza is afraid to be identified.
He went back to the front and he got to arguing with the cashier in the front. And they had some words yelling at each other. And then I just hear a pile.
Prosecutors say store surveillance video shows an argument at the counter, and then the gunman abruptly, quote, puts the gun to Awais's chest, killing 26-year-old Jamil Awais.
He shot him here in his heart, and he died. Like, soon I came to the store, they told me sorry for your loss, you know.
A Palestinian immigrant, Awais came to the U.S. in 2013, leaving behind a wife and infant daughter.
You know, it's a big loss. He's a good guy. He's like my son. Like, when he came, he was a little boy, you know. He grew up by me. That's why this thing has hurt me too much.
And if convicted, Leggett faces up to 75 years in prison. We'll be right back after the break on Newswatch 12.
Insanity. Doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result.
Would you have done something differently than President Biden during the past 4 years?
There is not a thing that comes to mind.
Kamala wouldn't change a thing. Their weakness invited wars, welfare for illegals, while Americans struggle. Now Kamala wants higher taxes on top of higher prices. We can't afford 4 more years of Kamala.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
At Lakeside Living Design, we've always got something stylish in store for you. Whether you're looking for high-quality custom upholstery, decorative accessories and gifts, or are designing your space entirely from scratch, you'll have a friendly designer by your side sharing their expertise, helping you bring your unique style to life. So stop by, explore our showroom, and together we'll make your space feel just like home.
This is Ford Truck Month, with big offers on the trucks that don't subscribe to the word impossible. Like the off-road ready Ranger, the adaptable Maverick, Plus F-Series, America's best-selling trucks, featuring the 2024 Ford F-150 and Super Duty, the North American Truck of the Year, all with offers that make owning one possible. This is Ford Truck Month. Lease a new Ford F-150 STX for $329 a month for 36 months, only at your local Wisconsin Ford dealer.
Larry is back at Sunspace of Minocqua. Sunspace has been serving the area for over 25 years. Are you tired of not being able to use your screened porch when the rain is falling or the air is cool? The Sunspace porch enclosure is the answer. They can install their 4-track telescoping vinyl glazed window system, providing 75% airflow. Usually a one-day installation, lifetime warranty, and best of all, they're affordable. Contact Sunspace of Minocqua to schedule your free estimate today. Come and see our displays at Leisure City.
A hard day's work makes for a good night's rest. A good night's rest calls for a good cup of coffee. Some good coffee prepares it for the workday ahead. That workday promises dirt, stains, and a good sweat. A good sweat shows you had a hard day's work. And when that day is done, you do it all again tomorrow. And you live for tomorrow. Because tomorrow you can do it better and build it bigger.
They've had 3.5 years to fix the border. Why hasn't she done it?
For years, radical Kamala Harris created the border crisis. Thousands of accused murderers, rapists, even terrorists pour in. Each crime they commit makes American victims. Innocent victims of Kamala's open border agenda. They were bludgeoned, raped, strangled, stabbed, shot, and murdered. Kamala created the border crisis. She won't fix it now. Make America Great Again, Inc. is responsible for the content of this advertisement.
1 month has passed since Hurricane Helene caused tens of billions of dollars worth of havoc on several states. North Carolina was severely hit, and as cleanup efforts continue, residents are hoping to return to some sort of normalcy. John Lawrence reports.
This flood hit 27. I mean, you can see the flood water mark.
Hurricane Helene is long gone, but the aftermath remains.
There was some video of an area that I knew intimately in Western North Carolina, and when they sent the video, I didn't know what I was looking at. And it was stunning to me to see this area that I grew up in, that I knew, that I no longer recognized.
On Saturday, Eric Church and nearly a dozen other musical acts held a benefit concert in Charlotte to help the victims of the storm.
We got a platform, and if God's going to give us this ability to use that platform to raise money for people who need it, that's the best thing you can do in life.
Show officials say all proceeds will go to hurricane relief efforts, including businesses trying to get reestablished.
We've done $18,000 of refunds so far. So I'm like taking the money that we've raised for rebuilding the restaurant and just using it to refund the hotel rooms.
As for the week ahead, students in Asheville are returning to the classroom with a modified schedule.
The focus isn't going to be jumping right back into academics, but really taking time to connect with their friends, to get back into a sense of normalcy in a gradual way. And then on Wednesday, we'll be back to our full schedules.
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
And according to the superintendent of Asheville City Schools, none of the schools were damaged in the storm, and all have electricity, internet, and running water, though the water from the pipes hasn't been deemed potable, so students cannot drink it. And coming up, the season of injuries continued for Jordan Love today in Jacksonville. Drew Chelly will be here to tell us all the latest on the Packer QB after the break.
You have a clear choice in this election. Senator Baldwin is a 38-year career politician. I'm a businessman and job creator. She supports taxpayer benefits for illegal immigrants. I'll close the border. Tammy wants to put guys and girls sports in their bathrooms. I'll protect our daughters. Senator Baldwin abuses the political system. I'll fight the corruption. I'm Eric Hovde, and I approve this message. I'd be honored to have your vote.
At Cellcom, ring in the season with early access to our Black Friday sale. From October 22nd through November 4th, choose from select phones for only $1 per month. Plus, save on our entire smartphone lineup. At Cellcom, we keep you connected to who and what matters most with our homegrown 5G network. Spread love and cheer with Wisconsin's preferred wireless carrier. Cellcom. It's technology with a heartbeat. Visit cellcom.com for details.
Let's talk about Rebecca Cook. She's a political operative. She's worked for defund the police radicals across this country.
Cook spent millions getting Mandela Barnes elected, the most anti-law enforcement candidate in Wisconsin's history.
You remember Barnes, the guy who said reducing prison populations was sexy?
Defund the police radicals make it harder for us to keep you safe.
That's why we can't support Rebecca Cook, because she'll never support us.
I'm Garrick Van Orden, and I approve this message.
Remember when Hillary Clinton called you a deplorable?
You could put half of Trump's supporters into what I call the basket of deplorables.
Well, Tammy Baldwin hates you too.
Donald Trump might be one of the most offensive and hateful and unacceptable presidential candidates we've ever had. So what does that say about the people who support him?
Tammy Baldwin is a liberal snob.
I'm Eric Hovde, and I approve this message. Join my team and give today.
Imagine trying to take on one of the big car companies. It's not easy. Yet this year, one local law firm finalized the largest compensatory verdict in state history against an automaker, over $38 million. And it was no fluke. That same firm has been holding big car companies accountable for faulty designs that cause injury for over 50 years. Because Wisconsinites know who to call when it's a must-win scenario. They call Habish, Habish & Rotier. National reputation, hometown service.
Pat Snyder has compared abortion to genocide and described women who've had them as absolutely disgusting. But it's his record against women's health care that's really ugly. Snyder voted to keep an 1849 law that bans abortion even for rape and incest and punishes doctors and nurses with jail time. Snyder is so extreme that he even voted against guaranteeing access to contraception. Pat Snyder thinks he knows better. He trusts Wisconsin women to make their own healthcare decisions.
The Green Bay Packers were back on the gridiron Week 8 of the NFL season as they were down in Florida for a matchup with the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Packers had sweep on their mind going into the game as the green and gold were already 3-0 against the AFC South this season and looked to make it 4-0 with a win against the Jags. So Jacksonville on their home turf going up against the Pack, trying to win their fourth straight. In the third quarter, after Jordan Love left the game with an injury, Josh Jacobs would start putting the team on his back. He takes the handoff, couple broken tackles, nice cut outside. He's off to the races. He scores, touchdown Packers, 38 yards. They lead 20-17. Fourth quarter, second and goal for the Packers after a fumble recovery. Malik Willis going to keep it on the RPO, flip it out to a wide open Tucker Kraft who struts his way into the end zone. Packers extend the lead to 10. After Jacksonville tied it, it was Brandon McManus for the second week in a row. He walks it off. Second straight game winner for the Packers, new kicker. Green Bay wins the game 30-27. So while the team might have won on Sunday, there could be some long-term losses in the process surrounding the health of quarterback Jordan Love. Love was seen limping around after falling awkwardly on his injured left knee. Again, that knee he injured in Week 1. And then in the third quarter, Love would exit the game after suffering what the team announced was a groin injury. Packers head coach Matt LaFleur spoke about the decision to pull Love out of the game.
Obviously, high level of concern anytime a guy is in there, and he did it early in that first drive, and I think everybody could see him struggling to move around, and it got to a point where we didn't feel like, and he didn't feel like he could protect himself.
That opening line from LaFleur there, a high level of concern, a major concern for Packers fans regarding Jordan Love. The Packers, of course, going to try to get him rested up. Big-time matchup coming up next Sunday against the 6-1 Detroit Lions. The Milwaukee Bucks were in Brooklyn for the first night of a back-to-back on the East Coast. The Bucks coming off a loss to the Chicago Bulls in their home opener, and were looking to bounce back and get a win over the Nets on Sunday evening. Let's jump right to the fourth quarter. Brooklyn leading by 5. Bobby Portis 4-3. He connects, and the Bucks trim the lead down to 2. Nets would have a response off of a pick. Cameron Thomas going to step back, connects on the 3-ball. Brooklyn starting to pull away. Later in the quarter, it's going to be Thomas again, this time off the dribble. He puts it on the floor. He gets to the rim. Foul plus the bucket. Nets extending the lead. And later in the quarter, Dennis Schroeder stepped back from the corner. He's going to knock this one down for 3. Brooklyn will go on to win this one, 115-102. There's also some college football action going on Saturday night with a Big Ten matchup between Penn State and Wisconsin. This one was close, but some miscues by the Badgers offense allowed Penn State to pull away. Nittany Lions would go on to win last night, 28-13. We'll be right back after the break.
Today, it's even harder for the middle class.
And Yiling Zhang will only make things worse. A government takeover of healthcare, eliminating private health insurance, defunding police. And career politician Zhang loves increasing your taxes. As supervisor and school board member, Zhang increased your property tax bill, all while increasing his own pay on your dime, too. Yiling Zhang's destructive policies are making things
even harder for the middle class.
Come on, Zhang is just wrong for Wausau.
It seems like everyone in Washington is either too far left or too far right. I'm Rebecca Cook, and like most folks in Wisconsin, I'm somewhere in the middle. I'll stand up to Democrats to fight for a secure border and stop wasteful spending. I'll stand up to extremists like Derek Van Orden, who wants to ban all abortions with no exceptions. Like you, I'm fed up and ready for change. I approve this message because it's time that we sent one of us to Congress.
If there's one thing we like, it's choices. And your Ford dealer is the place to start. With a full lineup of vehicles and available powertrains. Get your ideal combination of power and capability with gas, hybrid, or all-electric. But more important than the power you choose is what you choose to do with it.
Choose FlexBuy on Escape and get 1.9% APR financing for 66 months plus $2,000 FlexBuy cash. Only at your local Wisconsin Ford dealer. Insanity. Doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result.
Would you have done something differently than President Biden during the past 4 years?
There is not a thing that comes to mind.
Kamala wouldn't change a thing? Their weakness invited wars, welfare for illegals, while Americans struggle. Now Kamala wants higher taxes on top of higher prices. We can't afford 4 more years of Kamala.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
Caring for a loved one with dementia can feel overwhelming, but you're not alone. Join the Oneida County Health Department for Caring for the Mind, a comprehensive approach to dementia, caregiver well-being, and navigating community resources on October 30th at the Pines Event Center in Rhinelander. Explore caregiver-centered care models, music and art therapy, legal support, community resources, and practical strategy to prevent burnout. To attend this free event, register today at oneidacountypublichealth.org, Facebook, or call them.
Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
And finally tonight, a North Carolina man cannot believe his luck. Last Tuesday, Jerry Hicks went into a convenience store and found $20 laying in the parking lot. Hicks went into the store and bought a scratch-off lottery ticket, and it turns out that ticket was worth $1 million. Hicks claimed his prize last Friday. He's opting to get a lump sum payment instead of getting smaller amounts over 20 years. Hicks is from Banner Elk near the Blue Ridge Mountains of North Carolina. He has spent his life as a carpenter and says he plans to use the money to help his children and retire after 56 years on the job. Well, I have not had that many years on the job, but you guys know me. If I won that,
and nor have you had that luck.
You wouldn't be seeing a lot of you or Jake in the newsroom here.
No, that is unbelievable because like he could have done anything with that $20 and he turned it into $1 million. Nice bet, nice investment.
The investment of a lifetime. I'd be riding off into the sunset. Speaking of sunsets, Conrad, what are we looking at?
Yeah, I actually have a scratch off myself at home. It's like a $20 or $30 one. I haven't even put it in yet at the store, so I don't know if I'm going to be a winner or not. Hopefully not. But no, I'm just kidding. Hopefully I am. Like us with the weather in the next couple of days, 60s and 70s all over the area. 7-day outlook does show rain showers possibly back in the forecast Tuesday night, especially into Wednesday, possibly even some thunderstorms in there as well. But at least we're going to be back in the 60s and 70s, boys, up until 40s by end of this week.
Well, that sounds awesome. Thank you, Conrad. Thank you, Drew. And thank you all of us for being with us. That's Newswatch 12 for this Sunday night. Thank you so much for joining us, and have a great night, everybody.
This election is a choice between two very different visions for America.
I will take on price gouging to bring down grocery prices. I will lower the cost of health care insurance. Donald Trump, well, he wants to give more tax breaks to the wealthy. I will cut taxes for the middle class instead. You may not always agree with me, but I promise I will do everything I can to lift up the middle class and be a president for all Americans. I'm Kamala Harris, and I approve this message.
Get an 11% rebate on your painting project at Menards. Give your room a grand finish with Pittsburgh Grand Distinction Interior Paint. It's a premium paint and primer with excellent durability and comes in over 750 one-coat colors. A gallon starts at $31.99 after rebate. Give your walls the best finish with Paramount Interior Paint. It provides the most advanced protection, true one-coat coverage, and excellent scrubbability. Get a gallon starting at $39.99 after 11% rebate.
Save big money at Menards.
Eric Hovde's trying to scare you. The truth is, no sex change surgeries take place on minors in Wisconsin. 0. And Tammy Baldwin didn't give funding to a transgender clinic. It's actually a youth homeless shelter. Eric Hovde knows that. But he's a billionaire banker who thinks he can lie about anything, including falsely attacking Tammy Baldwin by questioning her personal life. Wisconsin's better than Eric Hovde.
I'm Tammy Baldwin, and I approve this message.
Welcome to Leisure City, where relieving stress and